The political atmosphere in West Africa has entered another tense chapter as EcoWas, forces drawn from 4 West African nations, officially begin operations inside the Republic of Benin, just 48 hours after the government successfully foiled an attempted coup led by a small faction of soldiers. The attempted takeover, which the mutineers claimed was motivated by growing security concerns and dissatisfaction with the government's response to those concerns, was quickly contained, but it triggered a regional reaction that is now reshaping the security landscape in Benin and beyond. As the situation continues to evolve, EcoWas leaders have made it clear that they will not tolerate unconstitutional changes of government in the region, especially at a time when several West African nations are already struggling with instability, armed groups, and political tensions. According to official sources, soldiers from Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast arrived in Benin as part of an emergency deployment aimed at reinforcing the democratic institutions of the country and supporting the government of President Patrice Talon after the attempted coup was dislodged. Their arrival is being described as a precautionary measure, a signal of readiness, and an assurance that EcoWas intends to stand firmly by any member state facing internal threats that could undermine constitutional order. For a country of roughly 14.5 million people, the presence of regional forces at such a sensitive moment underscores the seriousness with which the situation is being treated. In the early hours of Sunday morning, viewers across Benin were shocked when a group of soldiers appeared on national television announcing that they had seized power, citing widespread insecurity and governance failures as reasons for their actions. Their broadcast was brief, and within a short period, the government regained control. Authorities later confirmed that the coup attempt had been neutralized, several soldiers arrested, and an investigation launched to track down the remaining fleeing officers believed to have played central roles in the failed takeover. The government emphasized that the country remains under democratic rule and that rule of law will guide the handling of the crisis. The attempted coup comes less than 1 month after a similar episode in Guinea-Bissau, another EcoWas member state, where tensions within the military led to open confrontation. The back-to-back incidents have heightened concerns within the regional bloc, prompting tougher security coordination and a renewed push to address political grievances before they escalate into destabilizing actions. EcoWas leaders argue that a pattern may be emerging, one in which soldiers feel emboldened to challenge civilian governments using force, especially in countries where security concerns or political disputes have deepened frustrations within parts of the armed forces. Nigeria played a central role in assisting Benin during the initial hours of the incident. Reports indicate that the Nigerian Air Force rapidly deployed units to Benin to help secure key installations and support Beninese troops in repelling the mutiny. Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu later commended the responding forces, describing their action as timely, necessary, and aligned with EcoWas principles. According to the Nigerian presidency, the intervention was part of a coordinated regional effort designed to protect democracy and prevent the emergence of yet another military-led government in the sub-region. Beninese authorities have since intensified their search for 3 high-ranking military officers believed to have masterminded the coup attempt and fled following the collapse of their plans. Among them is Lieutenant Colonel Tigri Pascal, who appeared on television during the coup announcement and is considered the key figure behind the operation. Alongside him are two other officers, Osman Samari and Sambieni Castro. Authorities say the three men have not yet been captured and their whereabouts remain unknown. The Nigerian presidential media advisor, Bayo Onanuga, shared photographs of the wanted officers on his official page, confirming that regional security agencies have been alerted and that the men are to be apprehended and brought to justice. This is the first time Benin has faced a coup attempt since 1972, a period that marked a turbulent phase in the country's political history. Since then, Benin has enjoyed a reputation as one of West Africa's more stable democracies, with peaceful transitions of power and relatively strong institutions. However, analysts argue that the recent incident highlights deeper undercurrents of discontent within parts of the military, discontent that may be tied to broader issues such as economic challenges, uneven development, and security threats spilling over from neighboring regions. As events unfold, EcoWas has declared a state of emergency across the region due to the rising frequency of coups and attempted coups. During the 55th extraordinary session of its Security Council held in Abuja, ECOWAS Commission President Omar Toure warned that the situation is becoming increasingly alarming. He stated that the region must take decisive steps to safeguard democracy, protect civilian governance, and strengthen cooperation against armed groups and criminal networks that are flourishing in certain border areas. Toure pointed out that beyond military threats, many countries in the region are also confronting political divisions, manipulation of electoral processes, and governance disputes that contribute to instability. He mentioned lingering issues in Guinea, where transitional authorities have been accused of failing to adhere to timelines for returning to constitutional rule, as well as the rise of extremist groups and organized crime networks that continue to exploit weak governance in parts of the Sahel and coastal West Africa. According to Toure, these combined challenges underscore the urgent need for coordinated regional strategies, stronger early warning mechanisms, and consistent enforcement of ECOWAS norms and protocols. Meanwhile, in Benin, government spokesperson Wilfred Hongbeji confirmed that 14 soldiers have been arrested in connection with the coup attempt. Although the government has not released detailed information about the detainees, officials say investigations are ongoing and more arrests are expected as intelligence units piece together the full structure of the attempted takeover. The government insists that no effort will be spared in ensuring accountability and preventing future threats to the country's stability. In many parts of Benin, citizens remain alert and concerned, even as authorities assure them that the situation is under control. The visible presence of regional troops has stirred mixed reactions. While some see it as a necessary step to safeguard stability, others worry about the implications of foreign military presence on Benin's sovereignty. Regardless, ECOWAS insists that the deployment is temporary and strictly focused on stabilizing the immediate post-crisis environment. Regional and international observers continue to monitor developments closely. Diplomats emphasize that while military intervention can temporarily deter mutinies, long-term stability requires addressing deeper political, economic, and social issues. Analysts warn that if underlying grievances remain unresolved, future crises could emerge, potentially drawing in more regional actors and complicating efforts to uphold democracy across West Africa. As Benin moves forward, the government faces the dual challenge of restoring confidence within the armed forces, while also ensuring that democratic institutions remain firm. For EcoWas, the events in Benin serve as yet another reminder that the region is at a critical crossroads, and that the future of democracy in West Africa depends on collective action, strong leadership, and genuine commitment to addressing the root causes of instability.